Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, in his skivvies, because his wife wears the pants, from Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Greetings, Amazon sellers. I'm your host, Jordan Malik. This is the Ask Jordan podcast, 50th episode. 50 episodes since March of 2014. And I'm so happy that you're listening and you're with me today. You had a lot of choices of who to listen to or what to listen to in your car, and I'm honored that you selected me. This is the podcast where we only answer your questions about selling on Amazon. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Every episode we answer a question from you, the listener, about selling on Amazon. And if you miss an episode, just go over to askjordan.net. We have all 50 episodes there, including the YouTube link if you'd rather listen to them on YouTube, or the iTunes link if you want to download them to your iPod or iPad or iPhone. Want to give you guys a heads up. I'm recording this in early October, the first week in October 2014. And you are going to start getting a lot of emails and a lot of discussion and forums, etc., about Amazon seller training / system program that costs almost $4,000. And I can't give the name here because I got a legal cease and desist from the owners of the program, or excuse me, from their attorney. They kind of have a weird mother-daughter attorney group that sent me a cease and desist. So I can't talk about the name. I can't say the name here, but I can talk about programs like that freely. It's a free country. So you'll definitely you'll stumble across this program within the next, I guess, 2 weeks or so. Today's October 6th, so roughly between now and maybe, I don't know, another 10 days, so October 16th or so. And it's going to be very alluring to you when you see the videos and hear the testimonials and the claims of people earning $100,000 profit per month, 7-figure businesses, etc. For you to just get admission into the program, it's almost $4,000. And then the program itself is not a scam. I've always said that. I've always said the program itself is not a scam. However, I think there's a lot of potential for failure when you follow this program, because they really don't give you a lot of this information up front. Is that the business model that the program teaches is importing goods from China and private labeling them, what's called private label. So you find a manufacturer in China who makes silicone spoons, and you make your own label. If I wanted Jordan's kitchenware, my own label goes on it. A few inherent things wrong, in my opinion, with this program, with the business model of that. And I go into that in a lot more detail if you go over to jordanmalik.com/ASM, jordanmalik.com/A as in Apple, S as in super, M as in motor. And if you missed that link, just go to askjordan.net and look for episode 50 where you can get the link for that. In the next few days, I want to be posting a lot of videos and commentary and discussion about that program, so you'll know that if you buy that program, what you're getting into. Again, it's a program that I do not endorse, and I have publicly not recommended it in the past to a lot of fanfare, but I've also simultaneously saved a lot of people a lot of money, much further beyond the almost $4,000 they spent on the program. Because, when you start following that business model, you end up spending thousands of dollars more on, generally you do, on products and processes to get products imported. And the reality is that you don't need to do any of what they're recommending to have a 6-figure Amazon business or a 7-figure Amazon business. You don't need to do any of that. Maybe you want to bookmark the page, head over to jordanmalik.com/ASM. And there's a lot of details there on that. So I wanted to give you a heads up as a courtesy. Now, if you want to hear your voice on an episode and get 7 of my best-selling ebooks 100% free, I'm talking about this podcast, of course, I'm going to tell you how to do that after we answer today's question. And today's question is from Steve in the windy city of Chicago, and I'll bet it's cold up there right now. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Jordan. This is Steve Brown from Chicago, Illinois. I just had a question for you about managing your returns from Amazon, items that are purchased from a customer and returned. How do you manage them? How do you keep track of whether you are paying out only or if the item's actually returned and paid? And then kind of on the same note, if an item is destroyed by the distributor, how do you track those transactions as well as far as being paid? Kat Simpson had somebody on one of her shows one time that had a company that was doing that, and that company got into a little bit of trouble because they were sending in too many messages to Amazon about transactions and reimbursements and everything else. I'm wondering how you keep track of that. Appreciate it. Thanks. And great show. I listen to it every time I'm driving. I upload them once a week and listen to them continuously. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Steve, that's a great question. And I'm going to be covering a lot that's around returns and inventory that is what's called unfillable by Amazon today. So let me first talk about the more simpler thing about returns. When you're an Amazon FBA seller, meaning you're having Amazon fulfill your orders for you, where you ship your products into an Amazon warehouse or warehouses. Amazon handles it from there. They handle the sale for you. They handle the returns, etc. You don't have any say when a customer wants to return an item. So a customer that purchases an item from you, but it's sitting in the Amazon warehouse, Amazon kind of handles that whole process through the sale, through paying you the commission, or rather paying you the proceeds of the sale minus Amazon's commission. And when a customer decides to return it, Amazon will accept the return. Well, not all the time, but within the parameters, they'll accept the return. And if your item it can be resold, they will put it back in the inventory for you. Item comes back damaged. Either customer claims it was damaged or it comes back damaged. Amazon will call that unfulfillable inventory. It's assigned to you. It's unfulfillable inventory. And you have some options in your Amazon seller settings to control what happens to unfulfillable items. So again, customer buys an item from you, customer returns it and claims that it's broken. Amazon may make some evaluation to say this can be resold, and they put it back in the inventory. And I'm really not sure if Amazon will designate the condition as new, or if the package has been opened, they'll designate it as like new, or I'm not sure exactly how they do that. And this is something that I really don't have to pay a lot of attention to, because generally Amazon takes care of things pretty seamlessly. And where they don't take care of things, I have a solution for you as well that I'm going to talk about in a minute. So the item comes back and Amazon deems it unfulfillable. You have options. When you log into Amazon Seller Central as an Amazon FBA seller, and you go to settings all the way on the right, go all the way down, not to return settings. We're not talking about return settings. That's if you have if you're shipping your items from home, which we're not going to talk about here. We're talking about Amazon FBA. You scroll all the way down under settings to fulfillment by Amazon. And that will bring up the fulfillment by Amazon settings. And there is, there is a section there called automated unfillable removal settings. And again, you can have settings where you elect to have Amazon dispose of the item for you, or remove it and ship it back to you if the item has been returned and is deemed unfulfillable, meaning they cannot resell it again. So that again, if you go to Amazon Seller Central, you log into your Amazon Central interface, and you go to the right-hand corner, you hit settings, and you go all the way down and select fulfillment by Amazon. You can get to those settings there. Now, let's talk about the other stuff that happens. What Amazon tends, infrequently, but it happens. It'll happen for a good percentage of your inventory. Roughly, I'm guessing between 1% and 5% of your inventory will get lost in the Amazon warehouses. It'll get damaged during handling in the Amazon warehouses, and Amazon may not reimburse you correctly for those lost or damaged items. They may not reimburse you at all. Okay? And there are ways where you can manually request them to look into things. And if you Google around, if you look on google.com and say, how to request reimbursement from Amazon FBA, you'll find some tutorials that may or may not be outdated. I'm not sure. I use a service which you had referred to, Steve. The new service I use today is by a company called HydraSale, and there is a link at this episode number when you look at episode 50 at AskJordan.net for it. And there's a referral code that you can enter if you sign up for them. The cool thing about HydraSale is that they kind of automate this for you. So they have software that takes a look at your inventory daily. And if there's anything funny going on in terms of discrepancies or data that indicates that you were not properly reimbursed for a lost item, HydraSale will go ahead, the software will go ahead and automatically submit that request to Amazon to have them investigate it and or reimburse you if your request is valid. The service that HydraSale has is called Refunds Radar. Refunds Radar, and you can sign up for it. It's free to use at hydrasale.com. They do take 25% of whatever you're owed. So I was keeping pretty good tabs manually on my inventory to date, but they've already reimbursed me about maybe $40, $50 of lost inventory or damage or incorrect weight discrepancy, weight size discrepancies. What they do is when you sign up, they take care of it for you. They submit the request to Amazon. After Amazon reimburses you or files the reimbursement, HydraSale automatically knows the amount that you owe HydraSale. Their fee is 25% of whatever the amount is. So let's say within a certain time period, within a week, HydraSale gets back $100 of reimbursements to you from Amazon. HydraSale's fee will be $25 or 25% of that. And they've already gotten me back about $40 or so. I've been a member for a couple weeks now. There are other people that I can verify have done this, and they had, thousands of dollars that were reimbursed to them, several $100s that were reimbursed to them because they otherwise wouldn't have known. Amazon sometimes will catch their own discrepancies or the fact that they damaged their goods, or the goods are lost, but they can't track everything. So that's where you can come in either independently to ask for an inquiry, and there's ways to do that, like I said, or you can have HydraSale do it for you, which is my preferred method because I don't have time to pore over my records on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, nor do I have time to pay somebody to do it. And this is quite remarkable what they're providing as a service. Now, you mentioned another company that I won't mention here that used to do it. The company that used to do it was a different entity, and the problem is that they offered the same solution as what HydraSale does now, but they signed up so many customers and they processed all the returns to Amazon, all the requests for reimbursements and discrepancies in bulk, like all at once. So Amazon's support staff was getting inundated. Not just the question, the inundation wasn't just the number of customers that were requesting discrepancy corrections and reimbursements. It was the quantity per customer because this software was just dropping them all in bulk at once. Amazon got upset, and I think they either gave a warning to the company that was doing it, etc., and the company had to stop offering it as a service overall. The difference is with HydraSale, the company that I am recommending, is that they drip request the cases to Amazon. So they open up a case for you when their software detects there's a discrepancy or inventory lost, etc. They open up a case for you, but they drip request them. They don't send in 50 in one day. They might send 1 or 2 a day. And that's the proper way to do it because it emulates a human doing it. That's the speed at which a human would submit them. So it's a perfectly legal option. It's perfectly ethical to use the service HydraSale. Again, the website is hydrasale.com. If you go to episode 50, you'll see some links and you'll see a referral code that I'd ask that you use when you sign up for HydraSale. There's a long referral code you can copy and paste. That doesn't get you any discounts, but it lets them know at HydraSale that I referred you, and I get a very small dollar amount from the referral. It helps pay for this podcast, of course. It helps subsidize, me doing this podcast all the time and paying to have it produced when I get little incremental commissions from the companies I refer you to. But also lets them know that I referred you, Jordan Malik, and if there's a problem, I can help you out with them. So check it out. And Steve, that's a great question. I'm so glad you brought that up. Steve gets all 7 of my ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. Steve, just go to AskJordan.net, click on the small envelope icon in the upper right-hand corner. Send me an email so I know where to send your free ebooks to. If you, the listener, want to submit a question to the podcast and have a chance to win all my best-selling ebooks, like Steve, just call 516-619-ONLINE. That's 516-619-6654. Or go to AskJordan.net and scroll down, look for the directions on submitting your question. Hey, thanks for listening. This has been the Ask Jordan Podcast, and we'll see you again in our next episode.